Good afternoon and welcome back to Trade Talks. I'm your host, Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq. We are live at Inside ETFs in Hollywood, Florida. And joining me now is Sean O'Hara with Pacer Financial. And we are going to take a look at where are the growth opportunities in the market. And Sean, I'm sure that's the question that you get all the time. Where can equities go at these valuations?
Well, I mean, equities are pretty high at the high end of valuations, I think, although the environment is really a positive environment for the overall market. I was trying to put in context the other day the Apple announcement. So we obviously at Pacer ETFs, we have a Nasdaq 100 product with you guys that uses a trend following mechanism. Apple's a big holding. And they announced that they're going to invest $350 billion in the U.S. And post-financial crisis, there was a stimulus bill that everybody thought would solve the problem. It was supposed to be $1 trillion. But I would always argue that the government really can't create stimulus because they got to take the money from someplace else, right? So it's not really stimulus. It's redistributive is probably more like it. This is true stimulus. This is money outside the U.S. coming back into the U.S. And when it's all said and done, it's likely to be more than $1 trillion of real stimulus. So I think that's what gives the market so much hope looking forward.
Right. Well, then it almost seems as if that the bull market is not quite that old since we're starting to see these more real stimulus packages come into play now.
And it's been a long bull market, but it hasn't been a very aggressive bull market in terms of the total return on the upside. It's getting close to record territory for a number of years, but nowhere near record territory in terms of increase in overall valuation. So there's possibility that there's still a fairly long way to go here.
I'm sure the other question you get too is, where do I invest in next? Do I stick with equities, or what looks good outside of that?
Well, I'm going to talk a little bit about Nasdaq. Obviously, we believe technology still got quite a ways to go. There's this old saying that Noah started to build the ark before it started to rain. So if you are a little concerned about valuations, you can continue to own the Nasdaq 100, but you can own it in a ETF like PTNQ, where you have this 200-day moving average signal that will move you away from equities if the trend changes to the negative. So
it's like a natural hedge built in.
Yeah. So the old adage is the trend is your friend. We believe that. The trend has been very much to the upside here, and usually that continues. But if things were to change, the way that ETF works is it uses the 200-day moving average as a way to exit equities.
All right. Well, thank you very much for joining us at Inside ETFs. And traders, make sure you stay tuned for the remainder of the day. I'm Jill Malandrino, Global Markets Reporter at Nasdaq.